What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. And while we're on the topic of sponsorships, I've really only brought things to my channel that I use and I believe in. And I pride myself on that. In the comments the other day, someone mentioned they bought a glance and weren't satisfied with it. And they reached out to them and weren't satisfied with the response. If that happens to you, then you need to let me know. Email me, give me your order number, whatever the case may be. To you guys, Glance is a business, you are their customer. To me, I have a personal relationship. I have these people in my cell phone. And if you feel like they could have done something more, then the only way that I can approach them and have them try to help you is if I know. So the interactions I've had with them, I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't go above and beyond. I actually asked them about the refund policy the other day before I mentioned in one of my videos. But if there's a problem, by all means, I need you guys to reach out to me and let me know so that I can help you get it resolved. I stand behind everything I put on this channel, including the products. So if you have a problem, by all means, you know my email, put it in the comment section, and let me understand what took place. Getting into the breakdown for today, Baltimore Orioles, Boston Red Sox. Boston did a beautiful job, by the way, honoring its 2004 championship team. Had a lot of the players make the trip, put out a huge banner. Want to talk about Austin Hayes missing in the lineup today, although he did come in pinch run later on the game. It seems to me this is going to be a really important series to understand the direction of Austin Hayes as a Baltimore Oriole. The Red Sox got started off strong early. O'Neill actually got a solo home run, which broke a windshield in the parking lot. 1-0. And then Mullins for the Orioles took a walk, stole his second base of the season, and the aforementioned Austin Hayes would have been batting here. And I've talked about it a lot. Struggles at the plate, 1 for 12 against left-handers, 1 for 14 against right-handers. And while you can make the case that the move was because it's a right-handed pitcher today, Cowser would have seen more of them, Cowser also answered the call. He doubles on his first at-bat. Because Cedric stole the base, he's able to turn and score. And outside of that, the game really was filled with what would have been routine plays, but Boston just had some struggles that don't show up as errors. Mountcastle would get on base after Devers kind of deflected a ball. Mullins would get a double after Jared Duran lost a ball in the sun, and these also extended the pitches that they would have to deal with that made them go deeper into their bullpen. To me, the play actually that Duran had reminded me a lot of the Ryan McKenna lost ball when the Orioles lost last year. Cowser, again, just showed composure, waiting for the right pitch, puts up a flare. I did a breakdown where Austin Hayes was very swing happy in this exact situation, and Cowser didn't have any issues. The only issue I would have that Cowser had today was he tried to leg out a double and was very, very lucky the ball got dropped or else he would have been out. He actually pushes them out to a 3-1 lead after really what was a sloppy fourth inning. I think there was 25 extra pitches I counted, if not more, in that inning based on those two kind of errors. Burns just also continued to dominate this game. Yes, he gave up the home run early, but honestly, it's a lot of cutters, it's a lot of curveballs. He really limits a lot of offense. Outside of the one home run, which you're going to get if you're playing around the center of the plate, Boston had to go to their bullpen first, and they really had mixed results. In the seventh inning, Gunnar Henderson took advantage of Devers to steal third base, and it really was smart baseball. Gunnar Henderson had just been thrown back to, so he was fully aware that they were looking for him to steal, and he actually makes a judgment call that he could beat Devers to the bag how Devers was shading the gap. And of course, this allows Adley Rutschman to get a base hit. Gunnar easily scores. It's just a smart play. It's also sloppy baseball by Boston, but, when they combine, I think this game maybe only had 1 or 2 errors, but if you watch the game, it looked worse for Boston. And this is also, just for the record, exactly why you bring in Corbin Burns. You go to Boston for their home opener. He pitches deep into the game. He goes 1-2-3 in the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. You've got a huge morale boost for your team at a time where Boston has the better record, but you honestly, if you watch this game, wouldn't know it. Baltimore comes back up in the 8th. The bats have been quiet the last couple games. We get a trio of hits from O'Hearn, Mountcastle, Mullins. Cowser puts in a sacrifice fly that scores O'Hearn. The inning kind of closed oddly as Mountcastle was trying to slide into home. As Mullins was getting thrown out trying to go first to third, they challenge it. But if Mountcastle had just slid properly, it would have been an additional run. Danny Colon comes in, looks absolutely stellar, shuts the Red Sox out in the 8th inning. And then the top of the 9th, again, where you would expect the bats could go silent, Orioles come back. Combination of hits and walks extend the lead out to 6-1. Mountcastle, as the bases loaded, pops out. Mullins goes deep. Sacrifice fly brings another run in. And again, Colton Cowser, 4 RBI day. Now, he failed to do anything at the end of the game other than strike out, but it's still a massive day. It's exactly what he needed. And cementing himself in the lineup as the everyday player. Jake Webb closes things out strong. And I also just want to mention after this win that the Red Sox had a rough day. Not just on the field, but we learned before the game Trevor Story's going to miss the whole season. Trevor Story, one of my favorite players, especially when he came over from the Rockies. I wanted to see him do well. It's a shame that, just injuries have hindered him each of the last 3 years. Also learned Nick Pivetta was placed on the IL, has a flexor injury, which a lot of times leads to Tommy John surgery. I mean, we're still kind of dealing with that ourselves with the Orioles. Kyle Bradish doesn't really have a time frame to return. John Means is still trying to recover, had a game yesterday in the minors. And I know a lot of people talk about, the pitch clock leading to these injuries. I just don't see that. I think the reality is pitchers now are throwing 100% from pitch 1 to pitch 50, 60, however long they stay in. And that's what's creating the injuries. You don't see that gradual buildup of a pitcher that'll come in and throw in, the low 90s and then pick up the heat when they need to. And I think, obviously, listen, the human body just isn't designed to throw that many pitches at that speed for that duration of time. So, the whole pitch clock is causing this isn't an argument I really validate. But nevertheless, a great Orioles win, a no-sweat Orioles win, and the Orioles are now going to be primed for a prime time game against the Boston Red Sox. I will be here to cover it. Appreciate you guys watching these breakdowns. Be back as soon as I can with more commentary.